Hi, lovely ladies. I am so excited to be here with you. It is another Wednesday and another Facebook Live dating tips with yours truly, Raeeka. I am actually coming to you from Starbucks Reserve. It's different than the regular Starbucks that you see out there. It's a more posh Starbucks. Hi, Susan. I am so happy to be here. Susan, can you hear me? Can you say if this sound is okay and you're good hearing me and all is fine and well and all that? I would really appreciate it. Hi, Sylvia. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? All right. So today, while I wait, I just want to make sure that the Facebook page lovely ladies are also there. Awesome. All right. So as you're coming on, hi Amanda. As you're coming on, say hello. So you can, hi Tracy. Hi. I love all my irresistible women beta people here. Hi Sheila June. Can you guys hear me? Can you say yes, I can hear you, or yes, I hear you, or something like that, so I know that the sound is okay. Sound is good. Okay, thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate it. There's a little bit of lag always. So I am at Starbucks, and to be honest with you, I don't want to go home. I was tired of being home working by myself, so I felt more inspired being here, and that's what I'm doing. I decided I want to be here and have a chat with you from here. So it's a weird light though. It makes me look a little weird. All right. So let's see. Awesome. Yami, hello. I love all the, let's see who's on the Facebook page. Yay, Amanda. Awesome. Thank you for telling me. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're coming on the dating tips, dating with Facebook page, that's fine too if you're a guy. Say hi. Say hi so I know who you are. So today we are talking about Amanda says what? Let's see what Amanda said. I've done that as well. The Starbucks close to home knows oh my God, they're all friends with me. It's so awesome. I feel like this is my office because I come here almost every day to work. And I just didn't feel like running home today and be like, oh, I didn't want to do that. I want to be inspired. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Yummy. I love seeing my Irresistible Woman Beta ladies here, my Irresistible Woman Moon Course women here. Oh, my life is so full and rich. So today we're talking about the topic of how to quickly detect inconsistent men in dating and prevent the emotional yo-yo syndrome. And it's so interesting that this is the topic for today because I literally just did a coaching call with a new, hi Nasty, hi Roberta, with a new client, and she was talking about how, she was in a relationship with a man who she was married to for 33 years. Catherine, hi. Wow, just my situation, and now I've been ghosted. Listen then, Catherine, stay to the end and listen to what I'm going to be teaching you today. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Azad Jude. So, by the way, those of you who are watching this on YouTube as a replay, please, as always, keep in mind that this is not part of my YouTube channel, fancy schmancy video. This is just to share what I'm doing in the Facebook private group, Dating Tips for Savvy Single Ladies, which you all can come to. It's called Dating Tips for Savvy Single Ladies. It's a private group on Facebook, which the ladies in there get support from me, and they get to be in touch with me and ask me questions. So if you are on YouTube listening to this and you have comments, questions, don't post on YouTube. Go to Dating Tips for Savvy Single Ladies on Facebook, which the link is in the in the description of the video, and you can get it. You have to make sure that you answer the 3 questions, otherwise you will not get them, because we have a very strong vetting process. We want to make sure that this group is safe. And also, please understand that these videos are going to be long. So, because I'm teaching, I'm giving you lessons. This is not some quick fix kind of situation. Hi, Roya. So, here is Roya, I don't think I've ever seen you on this call. So if you're here, say hi. I would love to get to know you, and nice to meet you. So here is the thing. This woman who had been in this marriage for 33 years, she was telling me how her husband was an addict, how he was a cheater, how he didn't show up, for the relationship, wasn't really there for her. And she stayed in that relationship for 33 years. And when I asked her, what made you even pick this person? She said, well, I could not resist the blue eyes. What? This is not high school where we are not picking men based on the color of their eyes or the height or their way of dressing. We are picking men that are qualifying for being in a long-term relationship with us. If you are still looking for someone whose height is this much and their weight is that much and their dress is this much and the color of eyes is that, seriously, go back to high school and date there. We are talking about grown-up dating here. We're talking about picking your life partner. You don't go to pick a job and say, well, I really wanted this job because the windows open up to an ocean and I love the view, but it's not paying me well. You won't do that. You are looking for a job. You're picking a job that actually gives you money, that gives you income so you can pay your bills, so you can have a comfortable life, right? You do the same thing you must do the same thing for your love life. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to go out with any guy that makes you totally like, oh, I can't even have him touch me. Like, that is not going to work for me. There is absolutely no attraction. Please don't go into the black and white. Nobody put a gun to your head to do that. Nobody's asking you to do that. We need to have adult conversations about this, and we need to grow up if we want to be in a grown-up adult relationship. So I told this lovely woman that, well, that's good, that's honest of you to tell me that, but do you see how you did not look at the characteristics of this man to see if he has characteristics of a person who wants to be in a relationship? Now, granted, she accepted that and she said, I know. And then she said, and this is really the key, and then she said, then I dated a guy that I was in a relationship with who also wants to be who I dated for a few years. But the thing is that he never wanted to be married. He told me that I'm broken. He told me that I just want to be in a committed relationship, but I don't want to get married, and I kind of don't know. Committed means I just want to basically date you. It doesn't mean anything more than that. What the hell does that even mean? And I told her, I said, so now you're upset that you've broken up with him, and you are choosing to say that you've been rejected, even though you broke up with both of these guys. Can you see where the mind goes into monkey business? And you're telling me that you are choosing to not date men that are not worth your time, and they are not a match, which is bravo to you. I'm like, right on for doing that. You absolutely did the right thing. But then you interpret that and you attach a story to it that you have been rejected. How on earth is that possible? That's like me saying, I don't want this coffee. Oh, I feel rejected. The coffee doesn't want me. Are you guys picking up on how our mind plays these absurd games on us just to keep us a victim? Because being a victim means I don't have to take responsibility. Poor me. I don't know what to do. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Say yes in the comments if you are. Yame says, the sound is much better when the mic is closer to your mouth. Is this good? Is this better now? All right. So at any rate, thank you for telling me that, Yame. So here is the deal. It's so important important for you ladies to understand where you are taking personal responsibility and where you're not. Because you can, awesome, you guys are picking it up. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's you. Amy, hi. All right, great. Sylvia, I think it's you losing me because it seems like everybody else can hear me. I'm not getting any other complaints. So here is the thing. Ladies, when you want to detect inconsistent men, you must listen to what they're saying. One of the things that was happening for this woman that I talked to, who's beautiful and wonderful. Thank you. Hi, Christine. Wonderful. One of the things that's going on for her is that she told me, well, I'm wondering if I did the wrong thing letting this guy go. And I said, how come that's happening? And she said, well, because, what if I made a mistake? I said, well, what does he want? He doesn't want to get married. He told me that he's broken. And I said, what are you? The handyman of broken men going out there fixing them up? Like you turned yourself into a pretzel for your first husband for 33 years. You got out. You kind of got back to being you, this wonderful woman that you are. And then you went back to turning yourself into a pretzel for another man. Do you guys realize what you're doing? Yes, level 1. Oh, you've been level 1 all day, Amanda. So here, and for those of you who are like, what is level 1? Level 1 is when we are feeling bad about ourselves and we're having a pity party about ourselves. And people who are in my Irresistible Woman entire course program, not the beta people, know what that means. So that's what Amanda was referring to. So do you see what is really going on? Detecting inconsistency with men or consistency requires you to listen to men, to listen to what they are saying. If you listen to what they are saying, if you're not attached to what they should say, but like really allow them to say what they want to say, you will so beautifully get their message. And then you do not need to fix them. You are not the fixer-upper, even though so many of you want to be that person, because you know. How many of you think that you are a know-it-all? Be honest. Hi, Lucy. How many of you are a know-it-all? Come on, be honest. Be honest. How many of you are know-it-all? Yes, Amanda, you're right. You weren't in the level 1, but that thinking is, yes, you're absolutely right. That victim-minded level is level 1 energy, which those of you who are in my Irresistible Woman course understand what that is. And for all you betas, if you will learn in the next phase of the Irresistible Woman what that is. So do you see the absurdity of that? How many of you here are know-it-alls? Come on, none of you. All right. Well, Susan, thank you for your honesty. I am. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's see who else is commenting. Okay, Sylvia, Lucy, Christine, thank you for being honest. If you are a know-it-all, shouldn't you know by now how to find love? Shouldn't you all not be here and be with the right guy? Do you see how, Tracy, thank you for being honest. Don't you see that this causes you to not step out and really learn beyond what you don't know? See, there are 3 types of knowing, or 2 types of knowing. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know. But the thing is that you don't know what you don't know, right? Because you know what you know, and you know what you don't know by virtue of its quality. It's both knowing. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know, right? But if you don't know what you don't know, and you have this mindset of I know it all, you don't leave room for what you don't know. So what happens is you go out there and then you want to fix guys because your way is the right way. How many people here think that their way is the right way and the world needs to understand what they're saying? Their way is the right way and people have to listen to what they're saying. Who here believes that they know the right ways? And everybody should be listening and taking their advice on what they know. None of you? Some of you? All right. So while the answers are coming in, okay, Yame says me. All right. All right. So as the me's and replies are coming back in, Nazim says I don't. Okay. Good. So here is the thing. If you have this idea of you need to fix the situation, whether that situation is changing the guy or turning yourself into a pretzel. Nazani, you do turn yourself into a pretzel for guys. So you do think that you can fix the situation, right? You put up with what's not right for you, right? All right. I've learned the hard way. Awesome. Christine says, I used to, not anymore. Awesome. Tracy, not me. Okay. Awesome. Because here is the thing. If you think that you're going to be the fixer-upper, or if you think that things are going to change, or you have to change the man, you're going to be attached to that man being the right man for you. And that's going to take you nowhere. All right? So in order to be able to detect those inconsistencies, the number one thing, and write this down, that you need is detachment from results, detachment from this guy being the guy. And don't tell me that you don't do that. Don't tell me that you go on a date, unless you're in my Irresistible Woman program. Do not tell me that you go on a date hoping and wishing and crossing your finger that this would be the last date I'm going on. I really want this guy to be the last guy. Why? Because dating is hard. Why? Because there are no good men out there. Exactly. Sylvia says, I hated when I was a pet pretzel. Me too, by the way. I was the biggest pretzel in the whole wide world. Why do you think I became a dating coach? Right? Many, 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 many broken hearts. Many, 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 many. Hi, Sangeeta. Many, many relationships that didn't work. Right? So, that said, number one, you must detach from the outcome in dating, and you must go in there allowing the man to be himself so that you can actually let him show himself. Trust me, it is going to be a much faster process than you staying in a 33-year marriage or a 21-year marriage. I just talked to another person last week, 21 years with the wrong man, has a child, now she's divorced, now she's dating somebody else who's doing the same jack shit to her that the ex did, just in another form or shape. Right? What do you do, Christine? What do you do each time? So, very good. Of course you do. Amanda says, I used to, now I have a different mindset. Yeah, because you're crushing it in Irresistible Woman. You have so transformed, my love. So here is the thing. Number one, detach from the guy being the right guy. Number two, listen to what he says. When he says, I'm broken, when he says, I don't want to commit, when he says, I'm not looking for a relationship, when he says, I do want to have a relationship, but his actions and words are not matching, he is not a match. And the only thing that's going to teach you that when you will get that information is time. Susan says, I just had a date Sunday hoping that he was the right guy until he took his tooth out and laid it on the table. He's not a match. Well, I'm not sure if he's not a match. Maybe that's something that can be communicated about, Susan. You know, him taking his teeth out and putting it on the table is not necessarily a deal breaker. It's not necessarily one of your non-negotiables, even though it seems like it. But that's something that you can maybe communicate with if you like other parts of him, other things about him. right? And this is not the place to coach around that, Susan. You can bring that to the coaching call in the Irresistible Woman Beta because you're in that course and we can talk about it. But that's not necessarily a deal breaker. I want you to not make judgments. Actually, Susan, you are in the beta course. That's a judgment. Even though, yes, what is he doing? But maybe when you talk to him, he's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. I wasn't even thinking about that. I will be mindful about it. And then you give him 4 more dates to see if he actually keeps his promise. That's a guy. To me, that's a quality guy. He listens. He understood your side. He heard you. He changed for it on his own terms without you pushing him. That's why communication is so important. So, detach from him being the right guy when you go on dates. 2, hear them. Hear what they say. Don't judge. Don't interpret. Hear. Hear what they are saying. Okay? And when you see stuff like Susan said, hi Nadia, when you hear what they said or what they did and you didn't like it, ask them. Communicate with them. You have to learn how to irresistibly, with compassionate communication techniques, talk to a man to inspire him to get on the same page with you or to be honest with you about what they want in a non-threatening way. And 99.9% of women out there don't know how to do that. That's why my programs rock, because when you become part of the 1% of the women who are out there dating, and you are in the top 1%, you are the irresistible woman that men who come and date you, like Lisa, like Elena, like Catherine, my clients, the men say, oh my, where have you been in my life? I've never met a woman like you before. I need to get my act together for you, to be with you, to be in your, in your vicinity, to be in your surrounding, to be with you. All right. So you detach from how he needs to be. Number 2, you're going to detect what he's going to, you're going to listen to what he's saying. Number 3, if you heard something that you don't like, you don't just say, bye-bye, adios amigo. You communicate with him. You ask, you check in. Hey, you mentioned you don't want a committed relationship. Can you tell me what that means for you? If he says, well, I don't want a marriage, but I definitely want to be in a committed, loyal relationship with a woman. Okay, let's talk about that. I might be open to not getting married. I might not be open. Again, you check in with it, right? Sylvia says, it works. You taught me with Jay to ask in a compassionate, cute way. Yes, and Sylvia did it. Sylvia is a walking example of someone who used compassionate communication. She was about to let this guy go, and she got so surprised with what this amazing man did. She was worried that he's not loving her, giving her PDA, holding her hand, kissing her. And I remember on that coaching call when we talked, one of the other ladies in the group said, I am not going to date a guy. I'm not going to be teaching guys how to do that. Well, guess what? Sylvia is the winner because she had the tool, and Jay is now showing up differently and consistently. That is how you date. That is how you find love. And it's so easy when you have tools. So that's the lesson for today. I would love to know what your takeaway is from this call. So you don't have to be an emotional yo-yo. Does he love me? Does he not? Does he love me? Does he not? Does he love me? Does he not? No, you step into your big girl pants and you have open communication. You don't go in for being detached. You hear them. You don't make stories for them. You don't assume that their blue eyes means that they're going to be a good partner. You hear them. You also don't assume that if they put their teeth on the table, that means that they're not a match. Guess what? When I went to the symphony the very first time with Tim, he put his feet up. He took his feet out of the shoe and put his feet up on the rail. I thought I'm going to die. And guess what? I broke up with him because I didn't have the tools back then, as I do now. And he said, so 2 weeks later, he called me and he said, I don't believe that you don't. I lied to him. I said, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship. I wasn't honest to say, I don't think we're a match because what happened, even though I respect that that was your choice, that was not something that's in alignment with me. I didn't even say, can you tell me, when that happened, the experience for me was very uncomfortable. Can you tell me what happened? Is that something we can change? Right? Exactly, Amanda. Detaching, listening, communication. Number 2 is listening. So he said to me, well, he called me back after 2 weeks and said, I don't believe that you don't want to be in a relationship. I saw you back on OkCupid. What's going on? And I said, well, you put your feet up, and that was embarrassing to me. And I wouldn't go out with a guy who goes to a very formal event and put his feet up with or without his shoes. And he said, well, that was a reaction to you because you ignored me the entire night. And he's right. I was a bitch. I admit. And I said, well, I didn't yes. Good job, Christine. And I said, well, I'm really sorry. You're right. I admit I took personal responsibility and I told him that I absolutely agree to be authentic. I did react and I did not communicate with you and I was a bitch to you. And he said, well, I want to also apologize to you because that was a very childish way to show my disappointment in you because I really went above and beyond to get a babysitter, rush, go get my suit from work, run over the bridge. It took me an hour and a half to make it. And I was sweating, like literally running to make it on time. And then the entire night, you basically gave me a cold shoulder. Guess what? 7 years later, we're together. He never took his shoes off. We laugh about that event. So Susan, you might laugh about this whole event. Come to the coaching call tomorrow. Let's talk about this. Or next week. All right. Ladies, I want to know what your takeaway is. Like Christine, awesome writing. Amanda, good job writing your takeaway. I want to know how that's going to change the way you're going to show up on your dates. How you're going to change the way you're going to show up with men. All right? Because to find love, we need to be love. There is no alternative. You must be love. You must be loving. You must be lovable. You must be kind. And you are the only person who can make yourself loving, loved, and lovable. You're not born with it. All right? You're welcome, Susan. All right. I love you, ladies. For those of you who are not in my beta course and wondering what's the coaching call tomorrow or hearing it on YouTube, that's for the women who are in my current beta testing group. Please stay tuned because there is going to be another opportunity for those of you who have not done the beta to do the beta in September. Keep an eye on the posts in the dating tips group on my dating Facebook page. And if you want to make sure that you absolutely get the details, make sure you're on my mailing list. And the best way to do that is to go to datingwithconfidencecoaching.com, sign up for the free training there. And it's just right on the top, and you will be in our community. Or just send us an email and say, hey, I want to be on your email mailing list so I can get to know about the beta program that's happening soon. It's a 4-week course. Good job, Nazan. In detachment, listen, communicate, not detect. Yeah, don't detect, listen. All right. I really want to teach you guys to listen. Love you too, Lucy. I'll see you guys next week. You're very welcome, Sylvia. Love you, love you, love you. And I'll see all of you beta lovely ladies tomorrow at 12 o'clock on our Zoom conference call. Mwah. Bye.